right, welcome back everybody to another new episode of A Whole New World, where we are here to put a spotlight on positive things happening in the community and developing that positive mindset. I am your handsome host, Jacob New, and as always, we love to start every episode off with a dad joke. So without any further ado, here it goes. Why did the boy tiptoe past the medicine cabinet? Because he didn't want to wake the sleeping pills. Oh, I love little jokes like that. So, it is my pleasure to talk with everybody today on our new 5 cornerstones. Well, not new, but new to the show. That so we really wanted to bring you guys more direction, more content, and help with that positive mindset. So what is a positive mindset? How do we define that? What are what are traits that we can work on to develop and build that? And so after many hours of sitting there and going back and forth with my assistant, he and I we came up with a list of 5 words that we think are traits, skills that we believe really contribute to having a positive mindset. And so those would fall under resilience, mindfulness, acceptance, gratitude, and integrity. Having all 5 of those things together, and as I was writing notes for the show, I was starting to see. I was like, well, this can kind of go. They lead into each other, and they work together to help foster that positivity within you. And I was reading Drew Brees' autobiography earlier in the year, and he said that if for his throwing, he was talking about his throwing arm. If your bicep is able to, your front shoulder muscle, is able to throw like 80 miles an hour, but your back shoulder muscle is only able to throw 60 miles an hour, you're only going to be able to throw at 60 miles an hour. And so that whole idea of that the different parts work together, and that wherever you're weakest, that's what's going to kind of hold you back for that. So just kind of as we go through these, you can sit and kind of think, what is something that I really want to focus on to help boost my my positivity? What are some things that I can do? So I'm just going to go down the line. First one we're going to talk about is resilience. And whenever we talk about resilience, something that I've noticed with a lot of the guests that we've had on here is that it's their ability to come back from struggles. And you'll notice that in life, a lot of the people that are successful, that are happy, they're able to bounce back, so to speak. And when we're talking about bouncing back, I like to think of it as, how can you grow from this obstacle? And you view it as an obstacle, something that you can overcome, not as something that's meant to just destroy you and just be a completely game ender, but it's something that you can grow from and learn from, and so that way when you bounce back even stronger. And as I was thinking about this resilience, like how do we build that? And one of the ways, 3 ways that I came across was, well, one, just to stay connected. When you're going through a tough time, you want to be connected with people, whether that's friends, family, church group, maybe it's a hobby group, like you go fishing, or you're in some kind of a craft club, a knitting club, or whatever club or group of people that you can surround yourself with, because having those people there to help and support you definitely takes some of the load off of whatever the struggle is that you're going through. Um, Self-care was another one. Um, just which is going to be different for everybody. For me, I love going to the gym. I like that feeling of being able to push a little bit harder, lift a little bit more. Plus, I like how I look afterwards. But you know, sweaty, yeah. But and that's going to be different for everybody. I know my wife, she likes to take a bath, relax with some candles, bath bomb, a face mask, just kind of like her own little spa. Some people go get massages. I mean, different things that you do to take care of yourself, because when you are in a good mental state yourself, because you're taking care of yourself, you're going to be a happier person, and that puts you in a better mental state. And so when you're already in a good position mentally, when these struggles come, or these obstacles come at you, it's not going to be as big of a deal, because you're in a better state to handle it. Whereas, like, I think of, if I'm sitting there, I'm stressed out, I haven't slept in 72 hours, and a problem comes along, it's the end of the world. But whereas if I've gotten the sleep I need, I've eaten good, I've got my workouts in, as a problem comes along, I'm like, okay, that sucks. But I'm more able to find a way to work through it. So don't forget about that self-care, and just setting a purpose for yourself. What is your why, which is going to tie into another principle, so I'm not going to spend too much time on that. But understanding your vision for yourself, who are you, really contributes. And so, again, to help with that resilience, that when you know your why, you're able to push through things that you normally might not have. So, again, those three ways that initially we just came across to help was to stay connected. So involve friends, family that you feel comfortable with, or different groups, friend groups, hobby groups. Take care of yourself. Make sure you're getting your me time in, and just making sure that you're in a good kind of mental happy place yourself. And then making sure that you are aware of your purpose, your drive. What is it that gets you going, gets you up in the morning, that gets you out of bed? So there's resilience for you. The second one that we had written down was mindfulness, developing that mindfulness. And when I think of this, I think of kind of that positive affirmations, when you are taking the time and you are reframing your thoughts. A good friend, actually, my good friend, Mr. Assistant over here, he he sent me a quote of, it's not about, I have to do this, I have to go to work today, I have to get up. It's, I get to go to work, I get to wake up, I get to get out of bed today. Putting things in a better light, and reframing things in a way that you're trying to find the positive. Maybe it's, you're not using those exact words, I get to, but you are searching for the positive end. When you catch yourself having those negative thoughts, you are making a choice to go back and try and reframe them in a different way, which can be tough at first, just because I think we're naturally wired for the negative. But we can change that, and when we start thinking that, you'll start to be a little bit happier. You'll notice more positivity. What you're thinking more about is what you're going to notice. Kind of like that idea where you want a car real bad, and all of a sudden you see that car everywhere. My wife wants the Volkswagen, the Atlas, and so now everywhere we're going, she's like, oh, look, there's my dream car again. Look, oh, there it goes. She sees it everywhere. And so just like with cars and different things that you desire, that you want, when you're thinking positivity, you're going to start noticing more positivity in your life. And so that's why we really feel that having developing that mindfulness and being self-aware of your thoughts, that that can help you develop that positive mindset. And to go along with that, we're it's not always like this altruistic, everything's nice and happy. I mean, maybe it's you're taking like let's say your boss calls you in for a meeting and you're freaking out like, I'm gonna get fired, I'm gonna get fired. And it's stopping, catching your negative thought thinking, and then replacing it with facts, realistic things that have been going on. Okay, if I'm thinking I'm going to get fired, all right, one, what have I done that would lead me to get fired? Is the company laying people off? Or, I mean, you got to sit there and take a minute, calm yourself down, and get back control of your thoughts and kind of think through it logically. So it might not be that you are thinking like everything's sunshine and rainbows, but just taking it from like, I'm gonna get fired to, oh, well, he does, my boss, he or she, they call me in, it's probably for like the monthly review or what have you. Like they came and observed me the other day for me as a teacher. Oh yeah, let's go get some feedback. And so it's not always a bad thing. So keep it realistic, y'all. So be mindful of your thoughts, and when you catch yourself being negative, do your best to reframe them in a more realistic or positive light if you can. So which honestly takes practice. And this next one is actually, I feel, one of my favorites, and one that I am personally seeking to develop more in, and that is gratitude. And I think gratitude just intrigues me so much because it's your ability to appreciate things in your life, and being able to look back and appreciate negative experiences because of what they did for you, how they maybe removed an obstacle, or they helped you grow in some form or fashion. I came across a post by Robert Emmons, who is an expert on the subject, and he said, processing a life experience through a grateful lens does not mean denying negativity. It is not a form of superficial happyology. Instead, it means realizing the power you have to transform an obstacle into an opportunity. It means reframing a loss into potential gain, recasting negativity into positive channels for gratitude. And I love the beginning part of that, because I think sometimes we can get caught up in with gratitude or with positivity, that everything, like I said before, was sunshines and rainbows, but it's not. It's not pretending like there's not negativity out there, that bad things don't happen. It's searching for that good. And I love that part where he's talking about the power you have to transform an obstacle into an opportunity. So how can I make the best out of this, which I think kind of ties back in both with acceptance, with mindfulness and the resilience part, because you're able to grow from it and bounce back, and then you're reframing your thinking about your trial and your struggle. And honestly, and there's sometimes where in the moment you're not able to do that, and that's okay. He later goes on to say that by revisiting a prior bad experience and focusing on the positive aspects that came from that, they can help you with finding closure and can result in less unpleasant emotional impact based on that. And so just taking some time just to focus on, wow, that this bad experience happened, but you're focusing on what good came from it, that can really help close the door on that and limit the amount of pain that you continue to suffer from that. And so gratitude is one of those that I feel can really just transform a person. And when you develop that gratitude muscle, you you're able to appreciate more things, and uh, you just have a better appreciation for what's going on around you, the different things that are happening to you, and you've gone through enough bad experiences that we're like, okay, well, these help me, so how is this going to help me? So things start to be a little bit easier because you know that good has come from the other experiences that you've reflected on. So, um, I mean, it just helps you to appreciate it gives you the ability to appreciate things that you might normally have overlooked, which I think, as much as negative things, traumas, uh, um, as bad as those suck, that when you're able to, they give us a new appreciation for our life. I know one of my friends, good friends, who talked about a terrible car accident he was in, and he was just like, "Man, I'm surviving cancer, and how grateful he is that he's alive." And I mean, I had open heart surgery when I was 9, and so I'm very grateful for doctors and that medicine has come so far, because I might not have made it past 9. But I mean, it's just little things like, well, that we take for granted on a daily basis, that when we're put through a trauma, that puts it in a new light, and you're like, wow, I'm actually really grateful for this. And when you're grateful and you appreciate the things around you, um, you're a lot happier, and people notice. So the next one is talking about acceptance. And acceptance, when I first thought of this, or we first thought of this, well, my assistant might have thought of this too, but I know when I first heard the word acceptance, I was thinking like, oh, being brought into a group. But when we talk about it with the positive mindset, yes, that helps being included in the group, but it's more over accepting the fact that we can't control everything that happens to us, and being okay with that. Uh, Sometimes bad things happen, and we just don't have any control over that. And so I like this one because I really like it. Just takes the stress off of me. Like, I'm sitting here now, just sitting here like, ooh, like, I'm doing the best that I can but I can't control. I can't control other drivers on the road. But I've taken got my driver's permit. I took my parents didn't want to, well, I don't want to say that. They tried to teach me how to drive, but we were at ends with each other, so I went to a driving school, and I took that. I've taken defensive driving, but I mean, because I accept that I can't control those, what I did was I took what responsibility I could. I've been teaching myself how to watch out for other drivers on the road, and almost anticipate what they're going to do. And so, while you can't control everything in your life, you can control how you react, and how you go about solving that problem or attacking the issue. So, which is great, because you don't have to worry about everything that's going to happen to you. You can just focus on your plan to solve it, and just take care of what you can. And when you've done the best you can kind of wash your hands of it and move on with your life. And that's sometimes part of it, is that you reach a point and maybe you'll come back to it, but you've done what you can, and so you just need to move on, which is okay. And it's happy people let things go. You can't hold on to things forever. When you've acknowledged that you've done, I know I've said this several times, but it's okay. It's okay to let go. And our last one, and not least, is integrity. And so when we're talking about integrity on the show, we are talking about essentially your core values, your core you. What is it that makes Jacob New? What is it that makes you who you are? What words would describe you? values do you have, and why is it that we want to take the time to understand that? I know we've talked about it in other episodes, but when you understand who you are at the core, what makes you tick, what makes you drive, it gives you direction to with your life, and choices become easier because you have an idea of what it is that's more aligned with you. For me, things that have to do with helping people grow. That's why I became a teacher. It's a big part. I'll get into that in a little bit, but so helping people grow, health, those two things are a big part of who I am. And if I come across something that doesn't align with those, so if I feel that it's not truly in the benefit of helping others, then I'm not going to do it. Or if I feel like that it's not healthy, then I'm not going to recommend it. I'm not going to do it, because those two things are very important to me, and are part of my integrity and who I am. Now, and I'd mentioned earlier that it'll give you the vision. And so when you have a vision for yourself, and you understand who you are, you're able to tackle those obstacles. Your resilience goes up because you're like, no, this is my mission. This is my goal. You have like a clear vision for yourself and where you want to go, where you want to be. And so when obstacles come up, it's like not as big of a deal, because you want to get to your goal. You know, this is what I need to do to fulfill me, and that's a big deal. Evan Carmichael, he wrote the book Built to Serve, and several other wow, several other books out there. But Built to Serve, it's all about helping you discover your core values, essentially. And he breaks it down into three steps. And the first step is figuring out, who are you? So who are you? What are your core values? Like, what words would describe you? And then why are they your core values? So for me, with helping people, I grew up with my older brother has Down syndrome, and so he and I were really close. But I got the opportunity to help him and see him grow, and see other people's growth on a personal and social level that contributed to my desire to want to help my students. And so for me, like, different things throughout our lives are what have helped form us and make us into the people that we are. The Strengths Finder, I know we've had Perry Smart on here, and she's talked about your 5 strengths, very important to know. And it's the same principle as that, where as you've lived your life, the different events that have happened have kind of helped you define who you are, and how you act in certain situations. And so when you understand your who and you understand your why, that's when you can figure out the how. And the how is, how can you help others? Which a lot of us think, how can I make money? How can I do this? When you make it not about you and you put it towards other people, everything else kind of falls into place, because you are now putting yourself into a bigger, it's bigger than you. And so just having that servant mentality makes a big difference. And when you know that if you don't do this, it's going to affect other people, you're going to get it done. You're not going to let that wall stop you. You'll go through it, you'll go around it, you'll go under it, whatever it may be. But when you understand that your purpose, your how, your why, and how it is that you can use that to help others, man, you are truly a man or woman on fire, and a gift to other people. So that is about it for all 5 of those. I will add for integrity, though, that a big part of that, like I said earlier, is that when you understand those things about yourself, it makes decision making easier. Um, and that's a big deal to me because if you make a choice to do something that's not aligned with your character, you almost feel broken or like you're not fully invested in it. You are like there's a piece missing, and that's because um, it it's not you. And so, how can you be happy if you're doing things that aren't you? So, how can you be positive? And those are all questions that we need to ask each other or ask ourselves. Moreover, more importantly, is you can ask others too. But and these are all things that uh, I'm going through as well with you guys. So, but I'll go through them again. But the 5 cornerstones that we believe contribute to a positive mindset are the foundation for a positive mindset are resilience, mindfulness, gratitude, acceptance, and integrity. And so you develop those 5, and we feel that you're going to live a happier, more positive life, and people are going to notice the difference. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this episode, and I know it's been a lot of me talking, but I hope you got something good out of it. And if you've heard one of the cornerstones that you really liked, go ahead and just do some research on it. Start taking some initiative and seeing how can you develop that more yourself. How can you better become a more positive you? So, as always, I am so fortunate that you guys are listening today. And if you only learn to do one thing, learn to make a difference. Y'all have a good night.